Now, evidence leader Nduduzela Vanara recently made shocking claims at the Eskom inquiry, alleging that State Security Minister Bongani Bongo was instructed to bribe him to derail the probe. Specialist reporter Karen Morn is following that story and joins us now from Cape Town. Good evening to you, Karen. Just help us understand the details of the allegations Nduduzela Vanara has been making.
Well, essentially, Nduduzela Vanara is a highly respected legal professional. His integrity is above repute, and everyone within that inquiry basically regards him as someone with massive integrity. What essentially occurred is that he deposed to an affidavit, which is a statement under oath, detailing how he said the minister had approached him and offered him what he described as a blank check to essentially collapse the Eskom inquiry, where he is an evidence leader, by either resigning or feigning some kind of severe illness so that the inquiry would grind to a halt. Now, in the last few days, we saw President Jacob Zuma come out and say that he was addressing these particular allegations, which, interestingly enough, he is not framed in terms of being allegations of corruption, but rather of interference. Interestingly enough, the minister himself has not in any substantive form publicly addressed those allegations, but in a recent Sowetan article he was quoted saying that he believed they were driven by jealousy because people did not like to see President Zuma appointing young people to positions such as the Minister of State Security. He also told the Sowetan reportedly that he had indeed met Vanara, who he described as that chap, 15 weeks ago, but they had simply discussed legal issues because they were both conversant with the law. Having spoken to a spokesperson today, Brian Dube says the minister denies making those utterances, but when I spoke to the Sowetan, they said he hasn't raised any formal complaint whatsoever about that story. They say the reporter knows the minister very well, kept copious notes of his interview, and they stand by what they say.
Now, of course, one of the other aspects we've heard, Karen, is that Minister Bongo says he was instructed to do this by the Eskom board chair at the time. How are we to read that explanation?
Well, the Eskom board chair has vehemently denied making any such request of him. He says he's never met Bongo, he's never engaged with him. And you know, this entire matter is extremely serious because we have the president essentially saying that he will address the matter or deal with these allegations in an inquiry which directly implicates his own son and his friends. Remember, of course, that the Guptas and Nduduzela Zuma at the heart of the former public protector's state of capture report, which really was very much about Eskom, and to the point where the Eskom inquiry has actually now become the de facto state capture inquiry, which the president has seemingly been attempting to avoid being part of an investigation of. So the fact that the president is now overseeing some kind of process or action against a minister who, on the version of someone whose account of things has not really been attacked or undermined in any substantive way, you know, is essentially saying that this minister tried to shut down an inquiry which directly implicates not only the president's son, but his close friends. It's all a bit uncomfortable. We now have the latest development being that the Hawks confirming to me today, just a few hours ago, that they are taking over this investigation. Remember, of course, the DA laying charges at the Cape Town police station of corruption and violations of the Ethics Act. They will be taking over that docket. We know that the acting head of the Hawks, Yolisa Matakata, wants that docket. She is taking measures to see it driven from Cape Town to the head office in Pretoria, given the seriousness of the claims. Given that this is an MP who stated this under oath, it very much looks like the Hawks will go further with this investigation, and that it's expected to be assigned to the anti-corruption unit within the crime-fighting body, who recently, Joanne, have been making a lot of noise about how seriously they are taking the state capture investigation, with Yolisa Matakata telling Parliament quite recently that they had finished the first phase of that investigation, and we're waiting on the NP EPA to take action on certain key issues that they needed action or legal action on, which include, as we understand it, several search and seizure operations.
Very interesting indeed. Thank you for explaining that to us so comprehensively. Our ENCA specialist reporter, Karen Maughan.